move. Like, legit cannot move.
Ooh!
I came across this crazy statistic.
Hold on, ready? Go. Take one.
I came across this crazy statistic, guys.
Stop fucking up!
This could be the video.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be the... Excuse me. Take 8.
All right.
Oh my God, can
So,
you shut
Aardvark.
up?
Shout out to everybody that hates Maria.
All right, guys. So, Maria came across this crazy statistic this week. Why don't you share it with the viewers and us?
Okay, for my haters. 1 in 10 residents in New Jersey live in poverty, which is the 7th highest in the United States. Crazy, right?
It is.
It's almost 10%.
How'd you do that, Matt?
So that we can be very clear on our definition of poverty and whatnot. It's people that live below $16,453.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Just off the top of my head.
$16,403. And we're going to talk about poverty within the United States and New Jersey. To be more specific, we're not going to delve into other countries.
Or
So the
states.
question that I'm going to pose for you guys is, do people choose to be poor?
I think you should start with Maria. She had some really good points.
For those of you that don't know, this is now our 3rd time trying to film this segment. There has been some mess ups,
Technical
but a third.
difficulties.
My phone is a hot mess, but yeah.
Yes, some people do choose to live in poverty, but I think they do it for their children or their families, because they might be in a situation where they're making kind of low money, but if they were to make any more, they wouldn't be eligible anymore for their Section 8 or their food.
What is so
stamps.
funny
I was
about
just,
that?
I was just thinking like what I was gonna say, and I was like, wait, I've said this 3 times already.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I don't know how to do
It's
it.
okay.
Back to that. Yeah, they might not continue to be eligible for food stamps or Section 8 or their health insurance, which, you know, their children or their family members might really need. Not to say that everybody does that, because some people definitely milk the system, but I do believe, you know, there are people who do it for those reasons, because the system is out of date.
There are 100% people that milk the system. You have people that, you know, I used to work at a grocery store, and we saw people coming in and out that were on food stamps, on WIC. And I remember distinctively this one time, this woman handed me her EBT card, and she asked for help out to her car.
Mercedes.
And she literally had a brand new Range Rover, parked out front. And I just looked at her and I was like, fuck you.
No, that's those. Remember I was telling you about the school, how I went to school and they have the deal with Patterson and whatever.
Yeah.
Those kids that got their grant money, they would not buy textbooks. Like, I was one of the few in my class that had a textbook, and they had like MacBook Airs, True Religion jeans, no joke, all this stuff. Where'd you get that? I'd ask them, they'd be like, oh, you know, my grant money came in a couple weeks ago. I'd be like, oh, that's for books.
So you would almost say it was government encouraged.
No, it was 100%
Stay-
government encourage. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
to
was
stay
wild.
poor.
This
And
is
you know,
the
I'm
first
in
time
debt.
I'm
They're
hearing
not
about this.
now. Yeah,
This
this
isn't-
actually is refreshing.
Yeah. No, I mean it's been better. Would you like to out any of these people? No, I'm joking.
Matthew oh, wow.
Merc.
Yeah, that's me.
I fucked that up.
Hey, yeah, I would say that, like you're saying, it's encouraged, and I think it all started in the 60s or 70s, like I've said a few times before in this recording.
Tell me more about this statistic.
Well, it was basically around the time American households started falling apart, and so a lot of people that are in poverty, would be one-parent households. And that's encouraged by government, because if you have 2 parents, you're not going to get some of the subsidies or some of the loans or grants or whatever that you would if you had a foundation at home with 2 parents. And in the 60s and 70s, it was originally for blacks, to make this racist, at the blacks it was 25% of households with single parents to 75 now, and whites, to continue, we're at that point 5%.
I'm just gonna let that slide under the table.
We're at that time 5% single parents, and now it's around 25. So each of them have jumped nearly 5 times.
I remember you had brought up there were 3 things that a person has to do to get out of poverty. What are
No,
those?
to stay out of poverty.
Yeah, excuse me. So,
The 3 things to stay in poverty.
I mean, wait.
It's very
not that
complicated.
person's
It's a
fine.
complicated system.
Yeah.
but yeah, what were those 3 things?
It's to,
Can you remember?
I can't. And these aren't, like I've said a few times, I'm way too generous to other people's knowledge. These aren't my original ideas. These are from, I've watched Ben Shapiro, who everyone should watch, Larry Elder, who's another.
Gay.
Dave Rubin, Larry Elder was on Dave Rubin, who is gay, his show, and they were talking about this, and this is when Dave Rubin kind of had as people on the internet like to call it, the red pill moment, where you start to, like, have your world kind of twist a little, and which most people should have. You shouldn't ever be stuck in your beliefs to an extent where you can't move. But anyway, the 3 rules are to not have kids before wedlock, to hold a steady job, and to graduate high school. If you do these 3 things, it's almost, I believe the statistic was it's a 98% chance that you're going to not be in poverty and you'll hit the middle class. And these seem like easy things to do, but what people do is they tend to blame the world outside of them. They don't want to take the blame on themselves. They don't want to better themselves. They want people to hand them things, because that's what's encouraged in today's culture, like participation trophies, which we've mentioned before. It's just not it's not a way to better human civilization to let people just not do work and get things. It's we're not at that level with technology where we could just sit back and let them do all the work for us.
I mean, they've got 9 minutes and 40
So, if you're the first generation in poverty, whether you're the mother, the father, or both, if you're doing it for the right reasons, as in you cannot go to work because you don't have the time for it, you have to take care of your kids, that's understandable. But once you're one of the children where now your parents have been in poverty all these years, once you hit 16 years old and you're capable of working, I think it's totally your responsibility to get out of poverty. $17,000 a year, you can easily make, as long as, like Garnto said, like Merck said, is not the hardest thing in the world to do. Earn $17,000, $18,000 or more.
Absolutely, you're right. And I think it's people that stay in that mindset and they get lazy, and they just get used to the handouts that are coming to them. They're getting used to the WIC. They're getting used to the food stamps, and they are so comfortable within that lifestyle that they don't want to leave it. And unfortunately, the government that we live in glamorizes poverty, and it makes it look amazing. And what I have to say to those people is, honestly, fuck you. Because for those people who work their ass off and, are trying to get there and trying to be somebody, you're taking advantage of the system. And that's not fair to those who are just above it, that can't get it, and, have reasons to be at that level.
And you're not even doing right by your parents, the ones who stayed in poverty, just so you can have that health insurance, just so you can be able to have a place that you call, like, you have a roof over your head. It doesn't make sense for you, once you reach a certain age, for you not to work. It literally makes, that shit pisses me the fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
It makes no sense for you not to work when you reach 16. Like, it literally doesn't.
Another thing people...
I'm just
I
trying
was
to keep
out
it,
there.
like, it literally makes no sense to me. You're able to work, you go work. You can work 2 jobs to help your mother out, your father out. Work 2 jobs. Doesn't
And
matter.
the thing is, people are going to say, you should be a lawyer, you should be this. No job is a dumb job. You're getting an income, you're making something.
You're
with it.
helping your family.
And no job is a certainty. You're not gonna, if you go to law school, you're not like 100% gonna be a lawyer. You might have just wasted a lot of money and then you'd be something totally different.
You can be a paralegal.
Well, when we were all,
Yeah.
when they were all younger, or we were all younger, that recession, there were so many people who had master's degrees and bachelor's degrees who were sort of forced to go get jobs, pumping gas or working in food service, but they had to do that to pay their mortgage and pay for all those things that they were affording with their, $200,000 salaried jobs, and going down to make $15 an hour is different and hard for them, even to work at minimum wage. But that's an example. The people who were like, I'll just collect unemployment because my job went out, no. That's a terrible example, you know what I mean? Like, to wait till the economy gets better, that's not okay.
Amen, sister.
If you're able to work, they should work.
And if you point, also another thing that a lot of people do, they tend to point to other people. Let's say billionaires, like say Bill Gates. It's like, Bill Gates should like give us some of his money. It's like, you don't look to other people for handouts. You don't.
I wouldn't
think...
want $1 of Bezos' dirty, disgusting money.
I said Bill Gates.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
another billionaire.
I know. I think Bill Gates is a solid guy. But either way,
I mean, you
don't.
worked hard for that money, you know. Like,
Well, it's capitalism. You're not gonna. The thing about capitalism is that you can have an
Bezos
idea
has
that
to
makes you a
build a
billionaire
bank.
too, but then once you're on the bottom, looking up, it seems like unachievable, unreachable. But that's the beauty of it. It's that you could go from the bottom, drop out of college like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all these people that become billionaires. You could achieve this. So don't think that it's impossible to get there. You just don't blame them for having the money that they have. Don't try to take their.
But there's also
Exactly.
nothing
Do
wrong
what you
with-
need to do for you to make money.
Exactly.
There's nothing
Simple.
wrong with
Don't try to
working in
take them.
food service or doing
Hustle.
manual labor or being a construction worker or doing anything like that. Those are great jobs.
Yeah.
Like, that's so
And if you have an idea, you'll.
so non-stressed. Yeah.
And if you
just
work.
don't be on the corner.
Yeah, don't sell
I'm
drugs.
right here.
Stop being lazy. Go out there, get a job, make something of yourself, and stop blaming other people for your problems. It's not their responsibility. It is your responsibility. Take responsibility for yourself. How many times are you gonna hear me say that?
It's true though. I mean, that's what
This is
that's
the
what the
first time we all agree.
that's what the
Yeah.
world needs.
And this is like, can we all say right now that we all agree that
Yes.
people in certain cases choose to be poor?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
You choose to stay poor.
We
That's
all
why I-
agree.
This is the first time in Poor with the Four history that 1, 2, 3, and 4 all agree.
W.
That's the end.
Check him and
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
record it, please.
I can't thank our sponsors for this week, Jalapenos in Glen Rock, New Jersey. Go check them out on Instagram and online, and you can order any kind of food. It's a great Tex-Mex restaurant. We'd want to thank them for the wonderful Padrillos wine that we have, Malbec wine. Very tasty. Right, gang?
Yes.
See.
Go check them out. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.